Here we go.
Therapy dudes, take away your stress, put you in a good mood. If you had them over, they would eat up all your food. It's time for therapy dudes.
Welcome, everyone. It's another episode of Therapy Dudes with Dan Fox and Andre Carcamez. We're talking about anxiety, how to alleviate it, how to stay happy, self-care, stuff like that. Today, we're going to talk about some of our kind of personal experiences around anxiety and tools we've used to kind of, I don't know, be happy. Are we ever happy, Dan? I don't, kind of happy. We're kind of happy sometimes.
It's not like a fixed state, right?
Right,
It's
right.
and that's just sort of the nature of mind is that,
Mhm.
things change like the weather. And um one description that I heard from a client in terms of like, how their mood was going was they said, on the top level, it's kind of up and down, some good days, some bad days. But then there's this whole other deeper level where it's just kind of like bad and
That's where like all the existential stuff is and like why are we here and all that, you know?
right, right. Well, and I think that that comes from that wiring that we have where anytime we're not focused on something that is neurologically interesting, right? That's kind of keeping us like preoccupied. The default is to go into this kind of worried, sort of negative, judgmental energy that just is kind of sort of hitting our list of all the things that we don't feel confident about or that make us feel anxious or depressed. Not to solve them. We're not using some good problem solving skills or executive functioning skills to solve those issues when we get into this default mode. We're
Yeah,
just ruminating. And it seems like the evolutionary idea was to worry about them as a way of kicking in our fight or flight energy
yeah,
to survive the threat, which is very glitchy, very ineffective, but it's useful to know that that's the cycle because we can interrupt it once our nervous system gets agitated by just doing some strategies of like relaxing or just discharging that adrenaline in a functional way instead of just letting that energy kind of take over. Because then we have two problems. We have the original thing that was psychologically distressing,
right. The
and now we're
trigger
in this fight or flight physical survival
of a
energy.
perceived threat that
Right.
isn't even there. Yeah,
It's not. And when we're in fight or flight, it kind of shuts down our like smart thinking, prefrontal cortex, executive functioning skills, communication skills, problem solving skills. So we're not even equipped to manage
all
and
that crap.
figure out
Yeah,
whatever it was that was causing the problem because we're in this fight or flight mode,
I
which
can't tell you
is
how many times that happens to me.
right all every time we go into fight or flight because
I'm
when are
like,
we
why did I
actually
even
in
get
fight or
upset?
flight when we need it?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so in this day and age, we're very rarely, I mean, almost never, right? And the reason we're in fight or flight kind of all the time is because there's all these expectations we're putting on ourselves. There's all these ideas about how we make it in society that make us feel like we're falling behind the pack. And I'm using that language very intentionally because we're social creatures. Like we want to fit in. We want to find our place. We find a lot of meaning and purpose through interactions with others. Even people that are more on the, you know, antisocial scale, like more on that end, they still need people and they still need to find meaning through interactions with people, you know?
Right,
Um,
right. um
I just think a lot of us really don't feel connected to another and don't know how to connect.
I'm reading this great new book, Brain Rules,
Brain
and
rules. Tell me
actually
about
it's
it.
not new, but it's new to me. And
Yeah.
it goes over these 12 research-based, facts about our brain that are useful to know in terms of being able to work with it. The first one that comes up is talking about how our brain evolved. Like it went through this evolutionary process. As a species,
Yes.
we adapted not to be the strongest, but to be the smartest. And we were in this environment where there were much stronger species
Creatures. Oh
competing
yeah.
for food. Like we were the prey to these larger creatures, and we evolved to be social, to work
Yes.
together in a
And
way
we need
that,
that.
yes, we absolutely need
We
that.
still need that.
We haven't outgrown that evolution.
No, it's not going to happen. I don't think we're going to outgrow the need for connection and the desire to fit in. And I think a lot of what's happening, why people are anxious, not only are they have this little voice inside of them beating themselves up all the time saying you're not good enough. I mean, if I'm not good enough and I have something telling me I'm not good enough inside of me all the time, or I'm failing, or why did I do any of that, right? Then I'm not going to feel worthy of being a part of any group or a part of society, right?
I'm totally waiting for you to tell us what Gaba Yamor says.
Kaba more Gabor Mate. You're
Yes,
so funny.
yes.
Jeez. Well, he said, we live in a highly addictive society, and the reason we live in a highly addictive society is because we are focused on all the wrong things. And one of the things that people don't understand about addiction is that the opposite of addiction, in his theory and in his mind, is not sobriety, it's connection.
Mm, mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
And I hear it too.
I love the way you said that because I think we do go to sobriety and it's like, no, no, the opposite of addiction is connection. Yeah.
Well, because sobriety, if you take away the thing that's kind of helping them soothe through a lack of connection, they're just going to find another way to do it, right?
Yeah. Right. And to flip it, it's like the opposite of connection is addiction, right? If we're
Absolutely.
not connected, we're not going to feel good on the inside.
No.
And that distress is going to eventually be something that we're just trying to escape. And we do that with addictive behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, like in the work we do, um, as clinicians, we spend a lot of time talking to people. But if we don't take time to go and have our own social time with like friends and stuff like that, we're really helping other people through their stuff. And it can feel really lonely. And I've noticed that when I'm doing a lot of work and I'm overworking myself, I start to partake in addictive behaviors. Like I will screen time. I'll scroll through Instagram reels like for like an hour. And I'm like, what happened? Like, why did this happen? I
Yeah.
want to do something else. Honestly, what I want is to be around people. And I know this deeply to be true for me. Even if I'm tired in those moments, I just want to be around people that I care about. Like I've really come to like understand that.
I was noticing today at basketball, which we were both at, that you are great at connecting with people. Like I I come and I sort of barely like give a little like wave to somebody if I make eye contact with them or something, but you're like, "What's up, bro?" and going up and like patting them on the back, and if there's people whose names you don't know, you're like asking them what their name is and making them like feel seen and letting them know that like you're psyched to see them, which is so like not my normal MO. My normal MO is to assume people are like disappointed that I'm around, especially when it comes to
Oh,
basketball. Because like, oh no, we got this guy on our team.
oh, don't
So,
do that to yourself. I
but this
wanted
is
you on
just
my
it's
team.
just like the automatic, like negative self-talk in
Right.
those situations.
Yeah.
I mean, I there's other times where I feel like I'm in my like zone and feeling confident and good, but
Well,
when I'm in basketball, like
it's
there's a couple people I'll say hi to, but I by and large am like
yeah.
more just withdrawn.
But Dan, that's because you focus on yourself and what you are feeling and not like disappointing people, as you just put it. You have a negative narrative when you walk onto the court thinking that people don't want you, which is not what I felt. I was like, I want to play with him. And not because you're my friend, but I actually think you're pretty decent at basketball. Just saying. But
Wait a minute, let me write that
oh,
down.
okay.
What's today? April
Okay.
22nd. Okay.
He is. He's pretty decent at basketball for an old guy. Um, you're not old. So
I'll give you a three
Here's
out of five on that one though. Out of
okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's good enough. I don't want to be too mean because I don't want people to think I hate you. But here's the thing, because I don't. Here's the thing. When I walk onto the court, and this might be a fundamental difference between me and you, I I see people, and when I see these people, I see their desire to play. I see their desire to prove something to themselves and to other people. It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier in the last episode. People are trying to find their place. They're trying to find their way in the world.
Hmm.
And I see that effort. I see that they want to feel important. I see that they want to feel good enough and they want to make a mark on this planet. And I really find that touching. And so I want to encourage these people. I want them to feel like they're good enough because growing up, I didn't feel that way. I really didn't. And it would have been really helpful if someone was encouraging, if I had someone notice, like, even though I was awkward and whatever growing up, like some of these guys we play basketball with are quite awkward. And you know who I'm talking about today, especially. There were some awkward ones. I want them to feel like they have a place and I want them to feel
Nice.
accepted. So that's why I do it because I actually see where they're coming from. I don't really think my impact, I don't think I'm that important, right? Like that, like even when I suck at basketball, like today I missed everything. Dan literally, his team beat me 15-0. So yeah, it happened. It happened.
The only parts that I remember about the like competition me versus you part was when I was guarding you and you took a giant, like way behind the line 3-point shot. And as you were shooting, I just yelled really loudly, up to try to mess with you. And it was like nothing but net. You just crushed it. And I was
Okay.
like,
Well,
oh, great. And then you were like, oh, don't like get it back on me. Like you were like talking to me as I'm like coming down dribbling. And then you knocked the ball out of my hands. I was like, oh man, I just got like crushed on defense and offense by Andre the Giant.
okay, but here's the thing. Your team beat our team 15-0. That was the last game of the day. I was already like, I can fool around. You know, you guys played well. Um, anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that the way it's we have a fundamental difference on how we look at the world when we're stepping on a basketball court.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's just based off of our experiences growing up, right?
Yeah.
And I know that my experience was when I played basketball, I was very vulnerable. I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to feel worthy of, like, kind of like that whole species thing we were talking about last episode. We want to feel like we are good enough to belong. And I see that in these guys. And even if they're mean, even if they're like closed off, I see what they're trying to do. And I
I
want
think
to
that's
encourage
awesome. I want to try to access that more. That's a nice, strategy for approaching those situations and just letting go of my own self-consciousness.
Yeah, because your narrative about yourself is not true. I'm just saying, honestly, about what you shared, I don't agree with it at all. Like
Thank you.
you
Nice.
walking on the court and being that people being like, "Oh, that guy, we don't." I mean, maybe like 10 years ago when we met, I felt that way, because because I was a lot younger back then.
Right.
Um, and you were just starting up, like it had been a while, but you're pretty good. Like you don't need to talk to yourself that way.
Nice. All right. I think it's just a habitual energy and feeling of aging and all that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
to like role reverse here,
Yeah.
my like dream for you is that you can access your confident basketball energy the next time we do a presentation.
Did I seem too confident today? I feel like I was awful today.
No, you weren't
But
you
yeah,
weren't like overly confident. I was just like, wow, like he's bringing it and it's just like connected and relational in this way that I'm like way too like I don't know, reserved or, self-conscious about. Um, and overthinking. And
yeah.
I but it's also like I I see you as a presenter as somebody that has like a ton to bring to especially the fatherhood presentation. I mean, my gosh, you had like trial by fire with like, having three children come into your life all at once, and you're crushing it, and you think about it a lot.
I do. I think about it every day. I really appreciate that. And when it comes to me not feeling confident, you pointed this out a few times now. I think it's very situational. I think I'm struggling with that whole stalker situation really creeped me out, made me uncomfortable for a while. This guy is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Um, I I think I've allowed too many fear-based thoughts to enter um, over the last like since August, since all this has happened. And I think that, it's kind of wired me to feel that kind of like, like a fear is not a confident. You're not really confident. You don't feel confident when you're feeling fear. You feel fear, like the anticipation of something bad about to happen. And
Right.
I
But
need
that
to
did
find
not
a way.
translate to your basketball game. You still keep crushing it.
You're being unnecessarily, I suck today. But no, I appreciate it. But here's the thing. I'm saying this because I want people to hear this that are listening. Sometimes we let too many fears and shoulds hit us in life, and we forget who we are and what we offer and where our strength is. And it wasn't until recently, Dan, when I had a conversation with you actually, and you kind of just pointed it out. You just laid it all out. Here's a situation with this. Who cares about what that person thinks? Here's a situation with this. Who cares about that person? They're crazy. Why do you care? And it hit me. I was like, I gave too much of my mental and like my psyche away, my my energy to something that wasn't even functional or
Hmm.
logical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it feels good the way you say it. It's like giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, well, it's what I think we do this too often. And for a long time I had like what is it? Like a cognitive shield. Like I was able to like hold frame and see what reality was and see when, something was bullshit and when something was kind of tangible. And those boundaries have kind of blurred for me in recent times because of all the stress I kind of went through, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think a lot of us lose that kind of cognitive shielding when we get too in our feels, and especially fear. A lot of things we're afraid of, they're not based in reality. The likelihood that they're going to happen is very low. The likelihood that we're going to completely fail, not find love, never find a job, never have, the things we want, at least on some level out of life. It's just not reality,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely not reality. However, it is some kind of earlier memory, right? Like it's previous experiences
Yes.
where we were like dinged and the emotional negative energy is
Yes.
still anchored in there so that if we
Which was a real feeling and which really did happen.
yeah, yeah, which
Yeah.
is like if I relate it back to like basketball versus presentations,
Yeah.
even your encouragement about basketball, my thoughts about like I want to do this differently, still when I think about basketball there's an immediate like yeah, like I have that tinge of like oh I kind of like am pathetic at this. And if I think about like doing our presentation on Thursday, I'm like,
You're
got
gonna crush
this, no
it.
problem. Like,
You were not pathetic at basketball. You got to stop.
thank
You're
you.
not like that. Yeah, I don't feel that way.
There are times, mostly when I'm just like shooting on my own at the gym, where I feel like I'm like nailing it. But then I don't know, I get into like
Get in your
I
head.
just don't have the confidence, and I feel like people are judging me negatively.
Well, now that I know that, I'm gonna like talk to you differently when we play basketball. I'm gonna have to help you because I didn't realize you were stuck in this. Like, you're very silent. I never know what you're thinking.
Oh, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and that's
Now I know. I was like, why is he so silent all the time when we play basketball? Oh, well, he thinks he sucks and he thinks everyone's judging him. I didn't
yes,
realize that.
yes, that's but to me it's not like I'm thinking that, it's like that's what's happening.
Well, that's a feeling from a past, like you were just saying. That's a feeling that happened from your past. And also, when we go down a memory network based
Yeah,
off of the feeling that we're triggered in, right? The likelihood that we're remembering things accurately from when we were younger is very, very small,
right, right.
right?
And even if it was true, it's like we are a different person. We've learned so many things about ourselves and how to handle things differently and strategies to
Yeah.
like deal that it's it's not a useful reminder.
No. What's useful is catching the narrative from this space. Like, what is the narrative you have about yourself right now? What is it I need to like kind of dissect here? And what do I need to tell myself to get past this? Because it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
And a really good example is what you brought up today. I had no clue that that's how you walk into basketball until you said it on this podcast today. You've literally never articulated this to me. I
Um,
didn't know
I don't know why I didn't. I guess I just assumed like it
that
was
that's the
obvious.
reality. And
Right. Like when you encourage me, it's like Andre's encouraging me because he feels bad for me because I'm so pathetic at
oh my God. No, I'm encouraging you because I've seen you make those shots and win games so many times. I know it's in you.
that's very nice, but I don't I don't quite have that same memory of my own experience.
No, it's so like literally this is what I was talking about. When I go on the basketball court, I see everyone. I think any sport or any activity like choir or like singing or playing a guitar in front of people, anything, any kind of activity with other people is vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think that people are trying to prove themselves every day.
Mm.
And I see that space as a space where people are trying to prove themselves. And it's a playful space to do it, so I like it. And I think we should encourage each other. I think the people coming in with attitude issues and like really angry, I think they need it the most.
Mm. You're bringing it today. You
Well, I
are
feel it.
bringing it. It's awesome. I was looking for the appropriate soundbite
I
to
saw that.
play
I
on the
saw it.
soundboard, but I
I was like,
couldn't
where is
quite
he going
find
with
one.
this? Yeah. Well, um, yeah, so in regards to anxiety and like how to, I don't know, alleviate some of it, one of the most important things is how you got to catch how you're viewing yourself and the world. You got to catch the negative you're putting on there, the story that isn't fitting. And you got to ask yourself, who do I want to be in this moment?
Yeah. Mm.
And that is honestly what I do when I get frustrated or I walk onto a basketball court.
Mm.
Some of these people are really annoying. And it's not because it's just because like they're kind of awkward. They're maybe not the best at basketball. They keep taking shots they shouldn't, and they're on your team. And I don't want to say anything to them because I don't want to bring them down.
Oh, fair, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, truly, I'm always assuming I'm the worst one on the team because I just think that's known fact.
Oh
Like,
my God, I really hate that you say that. That is it. We're changing that. That is we're challenge.
okay,
This
I
is a
like this.
challenge for you. Next time we play ball, we're gonna like really work on that because that is ridiculous. And it is just not true objectively.
I mean, I did miss like 5 3-point shots, and
I missed all of mine in the game you guys won 15-0. All of them went in and out. I don't know what's going on.
mm, I was
Yeah.
I was using spells on you.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Before we wrap up, we
Okay.
had um two weeks ago we looked at some of the like things we could do for our own self-care, and one of the things was I was going to run for a mile, which I've been doing. The other thing was
He
we were
has
going to play
been.
basketball on Tuesday, which you did. So I just want to like shout us both out for doing some self-care. And I'm wondering as we dig more into the stuff around um compassion for ourself and positive self-talk, having like deliberate time to take to lean into that. Is there anything you want to be held accountable for and set as a goal for this next week?
Hmm. I mean, I don't know exactly what to add onto the table. I think the ongoing theme for me is like I work a lot, I do the dad thing a lot. I don't set enough time to do like social stuff with friends. I
Yeah.
got to figure that out. I don't know how that looks because like I also have to add like I have to, we're in that age where everyone's kind of like in adulthood and doing their thing as an adult. So I don't know. Do I join like I don't know, like a basketball league? But I want to talk to people. I'm
Okay.
like,
Um, one offering I have as an option for a goal would be
okay,
to reach out to two or three people at Boulder
all right.
Psychological Services with a time that you could meet for lunch over like the next couple of weeks, like maybe two or three times. Just be like, hey, we should do lunch and just, check in on each other and our practice and get
Yeah,
to know each other.
okay. I guess I could try that. I mean, it would be nice to get away from work, but I guess we could do
Yes,
that.
yes. Okay, you could expand it beyond just the Boulder
Right.
Psychological Services crew, but I don't know. I've had like good experiences with
No, I want to.
them
I want
and it's
to. They're
good
great
like
people. Yeah.
colleague building.
Yeah.
Um,
I like it. Okay.
my goal for the week is that I don't think my morning routine is really working for me. My morning routine is like get up, hope that my kids don't need me too much on their way out the door to school. And then as soon as I see a break in the action, going and taking a bath and playing chess and bridge on my phone
Oh, there we go.
while I'm taking a bath and then just not being in a very good mood and then, starting with whatever my first obligation of the day is.
Oh,
So that initial hour of the day isn't working. I think I need to stay away from my phone. And
clearly not. If you're
I
going
don't
to
think, I
basketball
think
feeling
that
that way.
if I did a little task around the house, like, a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of like getting the day rolling, maybe do a little bit of exercise, anything but sitting in the bathtub playing games on my phone.
Okay.
So that's my goal for the
You
week.
know what I've been wanting? Like a reading area. Like I want to set up a really
Ooh.
comfortable couch, like a chair or something, or like a beanbag. I don't know, with like a
My,
nice light and like I don't know. I want to read these books that I bought, but like I don't have a comfortable reading area right now.
let's start a book club.
Oh my God. Yes. That will fit my social needs too.
I mean, maybe, right? We could pick a book that would be interesting and something. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to workshop this one. That was kind of impulsive of me.
That was, but we can do it.
All right. I know we got to wrap, but I hope everybody's gotten some utility from this conversation. Please like, subscribe, and comment. The next five people that comment on our podcast will get the future book that we might never write for free.
Therapy dudes, take away your stress, put you in a good mood. If you had them over, they would eat up all your food. It's time for therapy dudes. Therapy dudes, take away your stress, put you in a good mood. Listen to them
Oh God, the
anytime you're
fade's not going
feeling
to work.
unblue.
The fade
Time
is
for
not on.
therapy dudes. Time
Yep,
for
you had to
therapy.
mess
How?
with it.
How did that happen? How do I stop it?
You
I
just
never
click
knew.
on the.
Oh, wait, over here? Wait, all?
No therapy.
Oh, thank
Oh,
goodness. That
doing
was
it.
scary.
Okay.
All right. Next time.